GM people, welcome to another session by Hyperedge Presents Venture of Blockchain. And today we are gonna be having a very awesome session on Solana, its architecture, and like various know-hows of it. So for today's session, we have an awesome dev here who has worked with me together before. So meet Anam. She is a mentor here at Hyperedge as well. So you can also ask the questions on the Discord server later. But yeah, I'll leave it to Anam to introduce herself. So, yep,
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Anna Mansari, and today I'll be taking a session on Build on Solana. Is my presentation visible?
yep,
Okay.
yes.
So, just starting with my introduction, I did my MLH fellowship last year, and after that, I interned at Hubble Protocol, which is the Solana DeFi protocol, and I'm also the GDSE lead at my college. Now, if I remember properly, last time Vraj took a session on Solana NFTs, and Neil also took something. And few of the recaps that we had was Solana is scalable and it has low transaction cost, which is like relatively really less, and it is scalable, which can process around 65,000 transactions per second. It uses proof of history as a consensus algorithm. It is fast and reliable. So, in this session, what we can expect is we will explore more on the Solana development side. We will look into the core concepts, the client side of the code, the contract, the Solana program library, and what all resources that you need to refer when you get started. So, just a note that this is not a hands-on session. It is something which is a little bit deeper dive into how Solana actually works and how to do develop on Solana. So if I talk about the first core concept itself, it is accounts. In Solana, everything is an account. And if I go deeper into accounts, it's just something which we store data in the blockchain. Okay. So if, in other blockchains we don't have this concepts of accounts, which is which is how the data is stored on the blockchain. Anything can be account. Your program, your smart contract, your wallets, your NFTs, everything is called an account. And these accounts are stored in the blockchain and in the validator memory, and they have to pay certain kind of rent to stay there. Now, the types of accounts are different, and these types of account are determined by the metadata we have. And one of the special accounts that we have is our programs. Now, I'm pretty sure you must have heard about these words in Web3, which is smart contract. If I summarize it like really simply, smart contracts are just programs that are stored on blockchain, and they execute something after some conditions are met. It's like the code is executable, and on Solana we don't call like smart contracts, we call them as programs. And programs, as I said again, are special accounts. Now these accounts, as I said, they have metadata in it. Now if the metadata is read only, as the code is read only and it is executable, then it becomes a program, which is a smart contract. So basically, we think of account as everything that we have on the Solana blockchain, starting from our program wallets or NFTs. And if an account which is read only and is executable has some code inside it, it is a program, which is a smart contract. Now, these are like the two main core concepts of Solana. We use accounts and we use programs. Now, let's say whenever we want to interact with a program or the smart contract, we have to send transactions to it. And the program execution begins with the transaction when we submit it to the cluster. Now, transactions have three main parts. It has instructions in them, it has some array of accounts which we have to read and write from, and one or more signatures. Now, if I talk deeply into this, what happens? Transactions can have any number of instructions, and each transaction is executed. Instruction is executed one by one in a transaction, and the accounts array that we add, we have to mention all the accounts that the transaction will read and write from, and the signatures that are authorized to read or make changes. Now these transactions are atomic. As I said, like there are a lot of instructions in a transaction. So if we are executing the transaction and one two instructions are implemented and the third fails, then the whole transaction fails. So it means that all the instructions have to be executed for the transaction to pass. Now, if we go deeper into the instruction part, instructions are basically the smallest execution logic. We are just doing something. Like if I talk about programs, they can update, read, or write data, and this we do it through the transactions itself. And transaction has mostly three parts: the program ID, the accounts, and data. Now, as I said, program ID will be the smart contract or the ID that we have for it, and the accounts that are involved in this instruction, and the data that we want to add, which will data payload that we add. Now, if I go back to the programs itself, as I said, everything in Solana is an account. We have a special a system program as well, which owns all the programs that we write, and the accounts that are not programs have to be owned by some program itself. So this way, we and the program that we own can only be the programs that accounts that we own can only be updated by those programs. Now, as I said about accounts, like if we have to keep the accounts on Solana alive, we have to give some certain kind of rent, and this rent is proportional to the size of the account. Like whatever the data is involved in that account, that much will be the rent. And what will happen? The rent will like keep on deducting. Like there's a time period, and if the account runs out of money, the account is directly deleted. So all your data will be lost. Now there is a concept of rent exempt. Even if like you have like if you want your data to stay on the blockchain, and like you don't want to like add rent every time, you can just add enough money which in the account which is equivalent to the 2 years of rent. Now what will happen? This way your data does not get deleted, and if you make a transaction and it reduces the balance below the amount, the transaction will fail. This makes sure that your account is safe and it does not get deleted. Now those were all the core concepts involved. If I like give a gist again, we started with accounts. Like everything on Solana is accounts. Then we said when we talked about programs, which are special accounts. Now other accounts which are there have to be under these programs, and these programs can update these accounts, read, write, and update. And then there's transactions we need to call to this like to execute the programs, and each transactions have certain kind of instructions which are the smallest execution logic. And all the accounts that we have on Solana needs to pay certain kind of rent, or if they don't want to get like deleted, they have to add a pay rent exempt at once only. Now, digging deeper into programs or smart contracts, if you will, we have two types of program in Solana: native program, and second is on chain programs. Now, these native programs are basically the core programs, and we don't have to, write them or something. We just use them while we do certain kind of development. First is a system program, which helps us to create new accounts, transfer tokens. Then there's BPF loader program. There's uh, word program. There are more programs, native programs that are there. We don't have to write them, it's just there to help us. And talking about the programs or the smart contracts we write, it comes under the on-chain programs. So on-chain programs are basically user written programs. These are the smart contracts that we as a developer write. Now the Solana labs or the foundation have some Solana program library, which are again on-chain programs, but just some programs are there which are already written. Let's say if you let's say if you want to write a smart contract for NFT, it is already there in token program. You don't have to write the smart contract yourself. You can just access the token program, and there's token swap program. Similarly, the Solana program library has a lot of programs such as memo program and everything. So if I summarize it again, there are two types of programs in Solana. One is native, which is already deployed, such as system program, and we use it while developing. Second is on-chain program that we as developers write. Let's say if I'm building a Twitter app, then I will write the smart contract for it, and that is the on-chain program. But let's say if I want to create some NFTs, or like do something on the implementation of non-fungible tokens, then there's already a pre-written smart contract for that in that Solana program library. It helps us to remove that overhead. Now, this was all about the core concepts, the programs that we use, different types of program. If I get to the development part of Solana itself, there's two sides. There's on-chain side and the off-chain side. Now, in the on-chain side, we can write smart contracts or the on-chain programs using Rust, C or C++, and usually Rust is used, and this Rust code is deployed on the Solana network. And after that, after now that you have to interact with your smart contract, you write the client side code of it. Now, this client side of code can be written using command line interface, JavaScript SDKs, REST SDKs, or third party SDKs. And to summarize all this up, you have two sides. Let's say even if you are like beginner to Rust, you can start with the client side code where you are just transferring some souls or creating NFTs, because the smart contracts are already written in the token program. And if you are starting with Rust, and it will be a little bit intimidating, that's why there's a library called as Anchor. So what happens in using Anchor library, you can write Rust smart contracts, and it removes a little bit of overhead in the development side. So this way you can write Rust smart contracts using Anchor. And if there's also a language framework which is Seahorse Lang. Using Seahorse Lang, what you can do, you can write Python smart contract, and it converts it directly into a smart contract. So to write your user program, there are several ways that you can go about that. You can write it in pure Rust, or you can use Anchor to remove a certain part of the code in the Rust language, or you can directly write it in Python and then convert it into your Rust smart contract. Now, when we talk about the client interaction, or like when you want to access the blockchain or send a transaction, we have already written a smart contract. Now, we want to send a transaction or we want to fetch some data. There are certain APIs that we have. First is the JSON RPC API. Then we have a JavaScript framework as well, which is Solana Web3.js. And Rust also has its own API. Now, this was all about like the on-chain and the off-chain side of the code. And if we explore clearly in the development side, let's say if we look into the JSON RPC, what we can do, we can interact with the Solana nodes directly using the JSON RPC. We can have an HTTP method or like a WebSocket to monitor data or on-chain data that we have. Second that we have is the Web3 JavaScript API. Using this, we can, this is like a library in JavaScript, which is easy for you to make transactions or instructions. If I show an example, this way you can create a transaction and you can send that transaction as well. And you can also create custom programs using this. Now, Rust also has its own Solana Rust grades to do the same thing which is Web3.js is doing. We can use Solana client grade for doing the same thing. So there are different ways where you can use for writing the client side of the code. And when I talk about the whole writing of the program itself, we have developing with Rust, we have developing with C++, then we have Anchor and Seahorse Lang and everything. Now, for the same reason, I created like a notion of resources which you can scan, and maybe sovereignly you can add it in the comments, the same link. This link has like all the resources which I've talked about till now, and if you open that link, you'll see something as this. It has all the guides and setups that you need, ideas to build. So Super Team has their own idea page where you can get ideas and inspiration to build a project. Then there's a tutorial link course, and all the smart contract side which I talked about, with like developing with Rust, developing with C, Anchor and Seahorse. I've added those links here, and same goes for the client side. Now, for the tutorials part, I personally recommend Solana development course on SolDev. It has everything like you need to start out. Let's say if you're starting with client interaction. You can read the data from network, write data, interact with wallets, and everything is there in module 1. Then you can create client interaction with common Solana programs such as token program, which this way, because the token program is already deployed, you can interact with it without writing a smart contract. You can learn that in the module 2 of the site. Then talking about the smart contract side, it starts from here where you create a basic program, and then there's something as PDS and program development and everything, and there's also anchor side of the development. So this page is go to if you want to learn if you're starting out in Solana itself, and the official documentation is also there for that. So that was, wait, I'll just, yeah. So if we have covered everything from the on-chain side and the off-chain side that we require, and this is all you need to get started on the Solana blockchain. The architecture and the concepts here are different, as I said, like the just give me a second. The concepts involved in Solana are different. Like as I said, everything in Solana is our account, and smart contract here are special accounts which are also called as programs. Then we have transactions that we send to the cluster, and instructions are the smallest execution logic. Then there are two types of programs. There are native programs and on-chain programs. On-chain programs is what we write. There are certain on-chain programs which are already written, which is included in the Solana program library, such as token program or token swap program. You can also see that on the official documentation. So that was it from my side. If you have anything, you can ask in the comments right now. And you can reach out to me everywhere. My ID is anamansari062, and on Discord it is Razorhead. I'll
So
just,
yeah, so yes, people. So that was about it. Like, if you have any questions, like Anam said, you can already like drop it on the chat, and we'll take it up in the AMA session, like right now. Other than that, I guess, like all right. So like Anam said, she's already on the Discord server by the username of Ahead. Do tag her there. So okay, Dhruv has enjoyed the session and writes great resources. So anyway, so other than that, people, I have an announcement to make. Like if any of you were not present in the last community meet, then you might not be aware that we have already started taking in community projects, and our first community project is something called SAL DApp, which is like a employee management application, decentralized application on chain, and you can like go and contribute there, right? There are mentors there as well. Like, it's an active project, and I see some people like conversing, but you can also go and contribute there. So yes, there's that. Other than that, if you also have like have your eyes on our social handles, then you might be aware that we are already also starting up the GovScript Summer of Code 2023 edition. So yes, the applications for it are out. Like some of the core team applications are out for the moment. But yes, if you are like starting into open source, it's like a really good program. Like where we also got into it, like when we started up. So yes, keep your eyes on the socials, because we are gonna drop all the forms and applications for it there, for the mentors, for the mentees. So yes, and apart from that, we are also like having Web3 camp, which is also getting started on various, like, those are in real life meetups. Like, if you are bored of seeing us on the stream every day, right? So you can like visit the your city's real life meetups and through Web3 camp, and so you can register as organizer or as a mentee there as well. So, and apart from that, obviously, we are also having Web3 Conf. So, there's time for that, but it's like one of the most awesome conferences that we like conducted last year, and we are gonna have it again as well. So, great place. So, yep, those are the announcements. But yes, apart from that, keep active on the server, and if you have any questions, you can ask Anam or all the other mentors. Like, we have so many mentors, active mentors, who are like there for resolving your doubts. So, yep, that's about it. Okay. So, Ritik asks, is it on Ethereum or Solana? It's on Ethereum, Ritik. I'm guessing you are asking about the SAL
Yes,
dApp, that project. Yes, so it's on Ethereum. You can check out the complete tech stack. We have repository. I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. One moment. So yep, here's the link to the repository. So you can go see it. The readme lists all the tracks it was part of. So it's on Ethereum, and it uses IPFS and Polygon, obviously. So yep. So anyway, so if you have any further questions, do drop it in the channel, in the relevant Discord channel, and Vikash will take it up. Right. So yes,
awesome.
that was all from my side. Um, I don't think we have any questions as of now.
I had
So yep, yep,
hello.
yep.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, like the whole session, we wanted to cover all the core concepts that we have in Solana, because when you start building it has a different architecture and it has different terms. So this was, I guess, from my side, the basic introduction of how Solana and the development works. If you need any hands-on session or in regarding the smart contract or the client side, you can ping me on the channel itself and maybe we can arrange that, right?
So Ritik asks, so this is the project. Yes, Ritik, that is the project. It's a community project. It's not actually a part of an organization. It's a solo project. But we figured since some of you are facing, some of the mentees were facing some difficulties and contributing directly to the big ones. So this is really cool. This has really cool first timer issues. So you can go contribute as much as you like there, and of course you can contribute in the other ones as well. So yeah, that is it. That's all, I guess. Then thank you, Anam, for joining us today, and it's been a great session. And thank you, people, for hearing us, bearing with us, right? So yeah, good night.
Bye.